already.
It's Friday! Let's go, people! So happy that it is finally the weekend and we have a great show for you guys. We're going to be talking about Draymond Green and how he is getting dragged again for making more comments about female athletes. We're also talking... Woo! Why does I keep forgetting to silence my computer? I'm so sorry about that, you guys. The Sixers, we're talking about whether or not they're too confident, and also the Warriors GM had some comments about that rumor that LeBron has been recruiting Steph since the All-Star game. But before we dive into the latest news, subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, and give this video a thumbs up. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
It's Friday, you guys, and I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter @JRayTheFanatic. Devin, are we both sporty today?
We're both sporty! I just got some new Lakers shirts. One of them I posted on my Instagram, so you guys might have seen it. But I wanted to put it on after I saw you wearing yours, but I didn't have time and decided I would just stick with this one.
All right.
Next time we'll be matching. Yep. Jackie, what do you have coming up for the weekend? I want a quick little, weekend update for us before we dive into the news.
I'm going to resume my apartment shopping. I took last weekend off because I needed a break, but I'm going to resume it this weekend, and I'm having brunch because stuff is open. I am so excited. I know this seems like a lot, but I'm so excited to go back to brunch. And probably go roller skating too. I'm probably gonna go drive up to see my brother. He loves roller skating. There's this roller skating ring by where he's at. It's about an hour away, but yes. So if I come and I have a bruise, I haven't been on skates in like 10 years though. But it's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, I love roller skating too. I used to ice skate as a kid. Like I took lessons and everything, which is funny because I grew up in San Diego where we don't get snow at all. But it was an indoor ice rink and I loved it so much. And now because of that, I'm actually pretty decent on roller blades and roller skates. So I'm really jealous of you. You should take some footage and post it on your Instagram story so I can watch and see how you do.
I will.
All right, well, let's just jump right into the news, you guys. I want to fill you in on Draymond Green and the latest rant that he went on about the WNBA and women in sports in general. He's catching a lot of heat for what he said again. So I think it was last week or possibly earlier this week, Draymond said that he posted all of those tweets that said WNBA players and female athletes were not helping their situation by complaining so much because they weren't going to the powers that be and providing them with a plan to actually help elevate their leagues and their sports and their teams in general. And then he doubled down on that sentiment here. So Leo, can you roll that clip for us?
About the lack of pay because they're doing themselves a disservice by just complaining, and
right. They're not just complaining.
Huh?
They're not just complaining, really.
But they are, because they're not laying out steps that they can take to change that. And so it's coming off as a complaint because the people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. The revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay. They're going to keep using that. But the reality is, as true as that is, it's an excuse because everyone says, we support women. We support women empowerment. We support women in the workplace. We do this for women. We do X for women, blah, blah, blah. And everyone uses it to their advantage. Yet these women are not using these people that are saying those very things to their advantage.
Mm-hmm. So I understand where Draymond is coming from here because a complaint without action or a plan to follow it up just ends up really sounding like someone whining. And I do understand that. But I also think that in this situation, he doesn't necessarily need to point out where women are falling short in a public forum like this, maybe talk to them privately, let them know like, hey, I hear you and I agree with you 1000%, but why don't you try this, this, and this? Why don't you go to the people at the top and say this and say this? So I sort of feel a little frustrated with the way he's, discussing this, but I do understand where he's coming from for sure. But I guess what I would want to ask him, because he says like, you need to go to the people at the top and say, we need a bigger marketing budget, but ultimately the marketing budget is out of the players' hands. So what do you do from there? I guess I don't really know. I think a lot of these women are trying to take actionable steps to change their situation. Some are maybe just sitting there complaining, and I think that that's not the way to handle it. But what is the next step for them? I think that what Draymond is trying to say, and I think this is a really valuable point, is that he wants women in sports to put pressure on the people at the top. But I do think that the issue is a little bit more complex than that. So, Jackie, what is your reaction to Draymond doubling down on this sentiment? I know you agreed with him when we originally talked about this, but do you think that he's maybe simplifying the matter a little bit too much and not really recognizing that he's kind of, that he's sort of misdirecting what he's trying to say, or how do you feel about this in general?
I mean, just like he's doubling down on what he said, I'm gonna double down on what I said. I think he's 100% right. I don't think that he should, say this in a private setting, because these women aren't saying it in a private setting. And I think he's 100% right in what he is saying. He's not necessarily saying go to the top of the WNBA and say we need a bigger marketing budget. He's saying all these companies that are quote unquote your sponsors that are saying we support women, you might have to go around the people in the WNBA as far as the people at the top. And you might have to go directly to these companies and start putting pressure on him, even so much to say, hey, we're going to say we're basically going to boycott your company if you don't put your money where your mouth is. And I said the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of these companies were just saying the right things without anything actionable behind it. And that's what Draymond is saying. Go to these companies who are saying, yes, we want to empower women. Don't just say that. Here's the WNBA. We need more sponsorship. We need this. We need that. But the fact that they haven't done that, they're basically saying this is the problem. And this is, and that's all we hear is this is the problem. This is the problem. Anytime you say what a problem, and I tell this to everybody, especially when I'm mentoring kids, don't come to me and say, this is what's wrong. Come to me and say, this is what's wrong. And this is what I think needs to happen. This is my idea on how to fix this. Even if I think your idea is trash, it might still spark something in me that says, you know what? We probably can't do it this way because of this, but maybe we can do this. Ideas, whether they actually will work or not, will always spark new ideas. And so I think he's 100% right, because I, as a woman who wants to be working with the Sparks, I want to go to Sparks games. I want to be sitting on the sideline and reporting for them. I still see things that the WNBA players can do to make this a more viable league. And I really don't want to hear anymore about there's this pay gap between men and women, especially when you go and you can look in the stands and you immediately understand why. He's 100% right. Saying that there's a lack of revenue is an excuse, because even before this show, we talked about how social media these days can drive attention wherever it's needed. So you need somebody to step in and say, look, I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. We've seen countless leagues do this for like high school games and high school kids and say, hey, you know what? We're gonna sponsor your team. We know your gym is trash. We know this is trash. We're gonna sponsor you so we can help level you up. That is an actionable thing that you're trying to address a problem. Just continually saying that there's a problem without saying, hey, Coca-Cola, we think you need to do X, Y, and Z for the WNBA. Hey, Microsoft, we want you to sponsor us, specifically these games. They're not saying that. And so I think Draymond is 100% right. And at some point, it does sound like, even if they're right in what they're saying, it does fall on deaf ears because we're tired of hearing it. And until we see some change, that's the only thing that's going to make that different, is when we start to see they're moving in the right direction and things are actually changing. That's when people are going to go, oh, well, hey, okay, maybe we can do, like I said, once you get that ball rolling, it's usually a downhill effect. So you just got to get it rolling. But sorry, Draymond's 100% right on this.
I think that right now we're also in this really interesting time where big brands are looking to, whether it's performative or not, they are looking to show that they're more inclusive. And that includes, people of color and women. And so I do think 100% agree with what you said about, especially about Coca-Cola. If these women go to these big brands, Subway, Coca-Cola, whatever it is, whatever, like, you know, new razor that people are promoting, whatever it is, if they say, hey, put us in this next commercial or sponsor this game or do this or whatever it is, you know, however any of that works. I am not a marketing expert, so I don't really know. I think that now more than ever, brands are going to be willing and super happy to work with WNBA players or people who are typically not represented in the media, because we're in this age where brands are trying to prove that they're inclusive and they embrace everybody, you know? So I do agree with that. And I want to clarify, because we've got some angry people in the chat about, like, they're real mad at me. Rob Parks Jr., I think you need to go to a therapist, honey. But I just want to say, I've never met anybody so angry about, like, a simple statement. Because I said from the beginning, I see where Draymond is coming from. I think maybe it could have been handled with a little bit more tact, but that's just me. I'm not saying that what he said was wrong. I'm not saying that, you know, these women are right and Draymond needs to shut up. Nothing like that. So that's all I'm trying to say. But people are so trigger happy. Jeez. And this NGL belch hog too. Relax, you guys. My God, it's Friday morning. You don't have to be so angry. Jeez.
You know what though? The thing is, and somebody in the chat, please remind me, because I'm having a brain freeze right now. But the college team that just changed their name to whatever, the investment company or whatever, the mortgage broker, something mortgage broker Spartans or something like that. And the reason why they did that is because there's a ton of money behind that. You're trying to tell me that this professional league, the WNBA, can't go out and get a sponsorship, even if you have to be the Subway Sparks. I know that's not what you want to be, but if it means you're getting millions of dollars that go to not only your salaries, but to marketing, then you need to be the Subway Sparks. It is doable. I think the problem that we are seeing with the women, and the reason why Draymond is so vocal, and I don't know this for sure, I'm just assuming, is because they want it to change. They want it to change now, but they don't want anything they're doing to change. They definitely don't want Subway Sparks. They don't want to lower the rim. Everything that people have said to them that says, hey, you know, people really love how fast-paced the NBA moves and the dunks. Maybe you should lower the rim slightly. No, we don't want to do that. Hey, we need you guys to go to these organizations and say X, Y, and Z. Well, isn't that their job to do that? No, it's your job now, because you're the one that continues to complain about it. So, yeah, I think that, and I get what people say, you know, that maybe he shouldn't be so aggressive. It's an either-or situation for me. You either aggressively pursue change or you be quiet. That's just me, though.
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't think that that's a bad sentiment to have. But let's move on. Let's talk about the Sixers, okay? So Dwight Howard and the rest of the Philadelphia Sixers want people to know that the NBA is aware that they're winning games even without Joel Embiid. So Joel's been out for 10 games, and Dwight's been doing, oh, sorry, I thought I heard someone knocking at my door. Dwight's been doing a lot to elevate the team, and he's been making really big contributions, especially in their game against the Cavs on Thursday. And then after the game, he said, quote, when we add Joel back, it will be lights out. Doc Rivers also says that he's been impressed with the performance of the team in the second half of the season. He said, quote, that was a heck of a trip for us. I think we're on the other side now. Our guys don't care. They just win. So the Sixers are currently, they hold the second seed in the Eastern Conference. And if we're to believe Dwight, they'll be even more threatening with Joel back on the floor. So, Jackie, your face says it all, but do you think the Sixers can give the Nets a run for their money with a fully healthy squad? And what's your reaction to what Dwight had to say?
Well, first, let me say I love this kind of energy. So even when I don't agree with guys and what they're saying, I want you to say this kind of stuff. I want you to believe that the squad that you have is the squad to beat. Because if you don't believe that, then you're not going to go out there and play like that. So let me say that first. The addition of Joel coming back, though, I don't know. They haven't been a problem before, is my only thing. Yes, you know, I know they've got some different additions now, but I haven't seen that one little aspect be a threat enough for me to say it's going to be lights out. Because when I look at the Brooklyn Nets, I can look at that and say, oh, yeah, that's lights out over there. You know what I mean? And it's not even something that I have to go through and kind of analyze and be like, okay, well, maybe this piece will fit. I don't have to do that. I can just run down the depth chart and be like, damn, this is a problem. So maybe he's right. I'm not going to say that he's wrong. I'm just going to say that up until this point, I haven't really seen this whole... I haven't seen what he's talking about. And you snapped your 2-game losing streak by beating the Cavs. I'm definitely not giving you no credit for beating the Cavs. So I don't know. I mean, because I love Dwight. You guys know I love Dwight so much. So I don't want to say that he's wrong in this. I do want to say he's 100% in this mindset. I love this mindset. I see Kevin Pryor in the chat. He agrees that Philly's going to be a problem in the East. But when you talk about being a problem in the East, that means you have to be a problem for Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Do I think that they no, they haven't been a problem before. I see you in the chat, Mr. Ara. I was going to put a Kelly after you, but that's probably embarrassing. But anyway, so no, they haven't been a problem before because we've consistently talked about the lack of chemistry between Ben Simmons and Embiid. We've talked about that a lot. So I haven't seen. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying that when I look at the East and I look at Brooklyn and all that they are, I don't think that the addition of Joel all of a sudden makes them Brooklyn status. Brooklyn out here, Thanos and everybody, and I to me, maybe you're Iron Man, but you're not Iron Man with the whole squad. You just Iron Man by yourself now, and I don't know if you can compete with Thanos that way. So I don't know. I'm not gonna, because I clearly see that there's a lot of probably Sixers fan in the chat, and I'm not a fan, so I don't want to speak too bad about them. I am a fan of Ben Simmons, which is weird because I know a lot of you guys are not. I'm a huge fan of Ben Simmons. I would like them to be able to compete with Brooklyn, because let's be real, if there's a squad who can make it so that the Brooklyn Nets do not make it to the finals, that's good for everybody in the West. So, yes, go ahead and do that. Do I think that the Lakers would have the same problem with the 76ers that they would have with the Nets? Hell no. No, I don't. I'm sorry if that offends, but I do not think that they present the same threat in any way. So, and when you say lights out, to me, that means, okay, now we about to compete with the Nets. And I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't.
I mean, just comparing the lineups and the rosters of each team, like it's really not even like a fair comparison. You know, I think that there's such a gap between the Nets and the Sixers, and that isn't to say that the Sixers are terrible, because obviously they hold the second seed in the Eastern Conference. They're doing well. But my next question for you, Jackie, is if Dwight is wrong and it's not lights out with Joel back on the floor, is it time for the Sixers to stop trusting the process?
That's a good question, because Doug just made a really good point. Brooklyn's winning games without KD. The 76ers had to rejoice by beating the Cavs without Joel. So it's a different situation, and that's what we've talked about before. They can have a guy out and still be effective. The 76ers are saying we need another guy to be effective. It's a totally different situation. So I don't know what process. I've been questioning this process for a long time. I'm a big fan on trusting the process, but sometimes that process means you have to change what you're doing. So sometimes that means what you're doing right now is not working. So that does not necessarily mean you're not trusting the process, but you got to trust your eyes. You got to trust what you're seeing, and you got to trust that maybe it's time to do something different. So, but yes, I think that now that you, especially, and I don't want to put it all on Dwight, but I think that if they can't pull it out this season, and I don't even think that's fair, because when you look at Brooklyn, it'll be hard for anybody in the East to really pull it out. But if they don't, then you really have to say, okay, we don't need to trust the process. We need to mix it up. And that's fine. That's part of the process too. Go in there and mix it up. But yeah, I don't believe this one at all, Dwight. And I love Dwight so much, but I just don't believe it. Because you guys should be, if it was lights out, the lights should be at least dim right now. Y'all should be running it without Joel. And then comes back, oh, now it's lights out for real. But that's not the case. Brooklyn can say that. Brooklyn can say, oh, when KD is here, y'all might as well just go home. They could say that because they're out there doing it without him. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do over there in Philly. But I know some of y'all are Philly fans. So if you've got an idea, let me know. Kevin said it's not fantasy basketball. Brooklyn winning without KD might be a problem when he comes back. Will Harden fall back after having an MVP season. Drama. Y'all still think that these men are I don't believe that at this point. I believe at this point, whatever egos we thought were going to flare up have been dealt with behind closed doors, and I think Brooklyn is the problem. I would love for you to be right, and all of a sudden it's Days of Our Lives over there, some sort of soap opera where nobody can get it together. That's better for all of us. I just don't see it happening, though, personally. I think they're going to be running it, and I think they're a problem for us.
Yes, but hey, I do want to say, Dwight, keep that energy. That's the kind of confidence that you need. That's what we want to see every athlete have about their team. So, it may not be lights out, but at least you feel that way. And the law of attraction can be a powerful thing. So if you believe it, maybe it'll happen. Let's move on to our next need to know news story. So this is all about the LeBron James recruiting Steph since the All-Star game rumor that we've heard about. And, I want to believe it's true because that would be super cool, but it's likely not. So this all started because Brian Windhorst said that LeBron's been recruiting Steph since the All-Star game, but the Warriors GM, Bob Myers, now has a response to it. So he said, quote, "We're never going to stop hearing it. It doesn't matter if a guy signs an extension anymore, whether it's one of our guys or any guy, the drumbeat never stops. I think rumors like that, or any rumor about a great player, they'll always be there as long as the player is great. But all we can do is make our place of work somewhere people show up and feel like they can compete. And I think Steph's felt like we've given him a really good chance in his time and career to compete individually and team-wise. And that's what we're going to keep trying to do. What I would say, I think Steph's happy. I think he's in a good place. I think things are going to be fine with him." And I think that this was a great response to it. And I like that he says he wants to make this an environment where a player, someone as great as Steph, can come in and feel like they have a shot at winning and doing the team, being competitive as a team, as an individual. I think that was a really great response. He did kind of shut down the rumors, but he's also not saying that it's potentially not happening behind the scenes. Maybe it is. Who knows? But Jackie, what's your take on this?
I think he's absolutely right. Steph will be just fine whether he stays with the Warriors or if he comes to the Lakers. And I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibilities for, I know you guys in the chat are about to come for me, but I'm always ready. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibilities for him to come to the Lakers. I mean, when you really kind of sit down and you look at it, yes, everybody says, oh, well, wait till Clay gets back. Y'all said that last season, and then Clay got hurt again. And so it's harder and harder to get back to who you were as a player when you've had back-to-back injuries like this. So when you look at the Lakers, and it becomes, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, it becomes, how soon can I win a ring? That's what it's about. Can I win a ring this season with the Warriors? If he can answer that question, and in his heart of heart the answer is yes, he's not going anywhere. If he says, can I win a ring this season? And if he is like, I don't know, then you just need to know everything's possible. Everything is possible. And I know people are mad, and you guys got to watch. I did a story about it, and I think it's coming on Sunday. This whole blaming LeBron for the super teams, no one is blamed for the super teams. The only thing to blame for the super team is the ring, the chase for the ring. And I'm not mad. Oh, and can I just really quickly shout out Jeannie Buss, because they asked her how she felt about the super team, and she said, hey, it just makes us better. That's the mindset you need to have. As a team, as an organization, your goal should be to have the best guys on your team, period. If people feel some type of way about it, if they want to blame it on LeBron or whatever, you should be worry-free. You should not care, because you just want to make sure your squad is the best squad to give you the best chance to win that chip, period. And if that means I have to invite Steph to a couple of more dinners at my house, then I'm inviting Steph to more dinners at my house. I'm just going to do what I need to do to make the Lakers a viable choice for him. And I don't care how y'all feel about it. So
I know it's baffling to me that people think a team would put together a roster of players and intentionally choose ones who are not the best simply because they don't want to be a super team. You got to get as many great, amazing people as you can. So if LeBron and Steph teamed up on the Lakers, I would be thrilled to see it. Even if it, this is crazy, but even if it happened on a different team, it would just be fun to watch, So I like hearing about that. I think it would be kind of cool. But that wraps up Need to Know News. Jackie, will you take us into the post-up?
Yes, let's get into the post-up. We're going to call this the feelings post-up, because y'all all in your feelings today, and I love it. Let's go into yesterday. What did I say? What did I say yesterday? I said Kevin Durant should not issue an apology for what he said to Michael Rappaport. It was not misogynistic. It was not homophobic. A lot of people in their feelings. And if you issue an apology, just say, hey, I'm sorry y'all had to see that. Y'all had to hear that or whatever. And Kevin Durant, my new friend, he messed around and listened to me. Check this out.
Response to the reaction to the the social media messages that were made public on social media.
I'm sorry that people seen that language I use. That's not really what I want people to see and hear from me. But hopefully I can move past it and get back out on the floor.
Period. End of the sentence. I love it. Ain't nothing else to say. Kevin Durant, I would just love to give you a standing ovation for that apology. That's an apology. I love that. Now, of course, people got some questions, and I have this same question too. So let me show you what Twitter had to say about this, because this is a legit question to me. It says, why is KD homophobic for assuming Rappaport might be guzzling you know what? Maybe he knows something. He's not stigmatizing it. He's just saying the dude sucks others off for a living. It's all, trash talk taken too far. KD is not racist, and he's not getting sued. So I didn't even think about it like that, but he's got a point. We don't know. We don't know what Michael Rappaport does in his free time. We do not know. Kevin Durant says they talk a lot, so maybe Kevin knows something we don't, and it came out in a heated moment. I'm with that. But let's go to this next tweet, because this next tweet, this is the thing that bothers me, because I've been seeing a lot of people saying that Kevin Durant should be thrown from the league for being racist. Again, wasn't racist, wasn't homophobic at all. And this person has to break it down for this guy. He says, I think the question is, what is going to happen? Leonard got essentially pushed out of the league because KD is an amazing player, he's going to face the same repercussions. What KD said was 1,000,000 times worse than Leonard's one word. Let's be clear, and I'm glad this user, because I was about to clap back, but, he got it. He said Leonard said the K word, and KD said pasty, you-know-what, guzzler. These two things are not alike. And that is the part that I need you guys to realize. Calling somebody, trash talking is different than using a racist term. And if you guys don't understand that, therein lies the problem. You guys, this is basic. This is basic. Don't look for a reason to be offended when a reason doesn't exist. That's all I have to say about that, unless you have anything to add. Devin, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add, because I think, well, first of all, I want to draw attention to the fact that we didn't get to see Michael Rappaport's responses. He was very selective about what he showed. So it's easy to paint KD in a bad light and kind of throw him to the wolves of cancel culture. But Michael Rappaport, we see few messages that he sent, and I'm sure that he did not include the worst of what he said. So that's just something I think we should draw attention to. KD absolutely does not deserve to be thrown out of the league for this. I thought that his response was perfect. He said, sorry, people had to see me talk like that. But also, I'm sure that's what trash talking is like among these guys anyway, regardless. So yeah, I think that people are very, very quick to be up in arms about something that's there. We have bigger fish to fry here. People get angry about something else.
Seriously, this is ridiculous. And he deserved it. Had to finish it off with that. So let me go on to this next one. You know that I love Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony has already become a meme. I'm going to show you that later in the post up, but this is hilarious. They do that whole fog machine and stuff. So look at Carmelo's face, and he had to tweet it himself, because he was like, you guys love that fog machine, huh? Talking about the Detroit. Look at his whole face. He can barely see. That ends up being a meme that I'm going to show you later in the post up, but this is great. But for those of us who have played laser tag, you know exactly what this fog feels like, and I love seeing this. He says, ha, ha, ha. That same fog at your local laser tag. I used to hate that damn fog. Smelled and tastes like ass funk. It does. Maybe it's just funny to me because I can relate, but there's been so many times I actually shot my own teammate because the damn fog. I'm not a fan. All right, but let's go to my favorite family, the James family. Now, Zuri's out here. She's working out with her dad. Shout out to our producer, though, because Zuri had the unibrow yesterday, and I thought this was an ode to AD, and our producer had to bring me into the fold because I did not know what she was talking about. So shouts out to our producer for telling me what that was and for showing me this as well, because I missed this. I can't believe I missed this on LeBron's Instagram because I have notifications on. But she's right though. She says, bruh, why is Zuri already low-key jacked? I don't know if you could see that, but first of all, let's blow up the big one with her and her dad, because that is just adorable, especially because you see the cartoons are playing in the background. So we're going to do this workout, but we're going to do it Zuri style. We're going to watch these cartoons, but let's get this zoom in on Zuri's face, her whole face, and the muscle. Do you see the muscle? I love Zuri, and I see the boot too, though. That makes me sad. But still glad to see this daddy-daughter time. I love this. And if you guys love the kids, you're going to love Jason's little one out here. You can hear his dad on the phone in the background, but he's out there preparing for his next run. So look, Deuce Tatum sinks it like his daddy. You know what the title says. Take a look.
I had to see what area it is so we can kind of catch it up like that. I don't know a lot to say right now. We trying to work.
What do you say?
Jason Cheo.
Good job.
That's adorable. I love that. I love the kids. I love the relationships that these NBA dads are showing that they have with their sons, because I know, and daughters, I know how hard that is to maintain when you're doing what you do. So I love this in its entirety. Now, this next one, I just want to say a couple things. I love all these challenges that I see these athletes doing. And obviously, we're going to show them here on the Fumble. So if I could ask one favor, stop playing Drake in the background. Because every time y'all play Drake on your workout videos, that means we can't play the audio. And some of the things that Ryan Tannehill is saying in this video, I really wish y'all could hear. So make sure you go to his page and check it out. I think it's on his TikTok. But he issued a challenge to Derrick Henry. And I showed y'all a couple weeks ago that core workout that was crazy. I'm going to add this to crazy core workouts because I shall not be doing this. First of all, that looks mad hard because that's just the basically large rubber band. I have some in my apartment. I don't even know what they're called, but they're bouncy. I love when the wife comes over here. And this was funny to me because even though I am not a girly girl, my purse is so heavy. There's so much crap in my purse. So for him to have that on his neck, yes, Derrick Henry, you're going to have to come with it and just accept this challenge, because I don't know how heavy that purse was, but I do know how hard that core exercise looked. But the fellas out here, when I went to the feed, the fellas was mad about the purse, so I just grabbed one shot, and this guy said the same. He's like, if that were me, I would rather have the anchor chain of the Titanic hung over my neck before my wife's purse. I'm assuming he's saying that because he knows how heavy his wife's purse is. And the Titanic anchor is probably a little lighter. If it's anything like my purse, it's probably a little lighter. But Devin, I know you're not Derrick Henry, but would you accept this challenge?
You know, when I saw this pop up in our rundown of what we were going to talk about in the live today, I'm going to work out after we finish the live show. So I was thinking to myself, should I give this a go? But then I saw he was doing push-ups and remembered I can't even do a single push-up without having rubber band arms. So no, I'm not going to be trying this, but it is very, very impressive. And purses are very, very heavy. That is so true. So that probably was a lot of tension on his neck.
Yeah, we're going to have to do I mean, I'm sure you'll beat me in most things, but we're going to have to do a workout challenge on our TikToks.
I would love that. Let's do it. It's such a good idea.
Right? We should do it. I don't do anything else on TikTok but scroll through the hat. Anyway, I spend a lot of weird time on TikTok. But let's move on to this next one, because I told you yesterday that when I saw Michael Strahan in the Gap situation, I was like, no, this cannot possibly be true. But then I saw this. So I want to show you this first tweet that I saw. So this was an actual full-on video of him going to the dentist. He names the dentist. It was almost like it was one of those infomercials where, oh, he's going to fix my gap. So he did that. CNN caught wind of this video. They did a whole entire story on Michael Strahan fixing his gap. And then, of course, we saw the picture of him fixing his gap. You guys, we fell for it. Take a look at this video.
TV talk and radio talk and podcast talk. But I appreciate all the love for the gap. And, you know, and I've had it for almost 50 years now. And a lot of people out there would always say, yeah, you make me feel good about rocking mine and everything else. And I know of the shocker to see it gone, but I just want to tell you guys that, I appreciate all that love that you show, and be you, live the way you want to live, do what makes you happy, because I did, and I am happy that I did it. So I just wanted to say, April Fools, come on, man. The Gap is here to stay for a little while. Not going anywhere anytime soon. So, April Fools, everybody. I had a good time. I actually feel bad. I feel really bad about actually not closing it after everything that I saw. But the Gap is here. The Gap is not going anywhere for a while. My mama likes it. So, there you go. For you, mama.
I like it too. I was so butthurt over this. I was like, no, Michael Strahan. But he did get a lot of love. A lot of people were saying, oh, that's so great for you. But I love this tweet because he says, I'm really glad you didn't close the so-called Gap. I was fooled. I was going to tweet it was a mistake because it defines you. And frankly, you look better with the Gap. I agree that it wasn't working for me. But I'm trying to be diplomatic, so I'm not saying anything. Great April Fool's joke might be the GOAT. I think this might be the GOAT of April Fool's jokes. I have never seen an April Fool's joke fool CNN to the point where CNN did a whole story on this. So I think this might be the GOAT of April Fool's joke. My whole feelings was hurt. So I don't know. Devin, do you think this one might? I mean, I'm trying to think if there's ever in time been another somebody fooled somebody so bad where CNN was like, oh my God, we have to run a whole story on the morning show. They did a story on this on the morning show, like loved a talk show host and former athlete fixed his Gap. And they were all sad and full story on CNN.
I know, that is pretty wild. I think he really did have us fooled because we, for a second, didn't think that it was an April Fool's joke. We took it very seriously, so he did it really, really well. That's the key to a good April Fool's joke. Don't make it obvious, but make it outrageous enough that people, pay attention. So this is a really, really good one.
Yeah, it had thousands of comments, so good for him. And even in that video, he was still kind of acting like, hey, I did it for me. At the beginning of the video, he was like, shout out to my dentist for making my smile great. So I was like, damn, this is real still? Because it said it was fake. But I was like, he's still acting like he did it. The acting that Michael Strahan did was amazing. I need y'all to remember this when we look at this next one, because I am certain that there is not one single good, positive rated acting school in Miami. And if there is, the Heat is not pulling anybody from that acting school, because this, I have no words, but take a look at this horrible acting in the stadium cam for the Miami Heat. Take a look.
Oh, we have a proposal. Love is in the air. Did she say yes? She said yes, E-Nation. Whoa. Uh-oh. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice?
So, okay. First of all, my first reaction when I saw this was, first of all, if you ever ask a woman to marry you guys in the chat, please don't do this. Please don't do it in a very public forum where she feels like she's put on the spot and she has to say yes, because that's horrible. Don't ever do that. Second of all, what is this? What is this? Who goes up to their boyfriend or guy that they're dating and sees him, and who does that? And where in acting school does it say, hey, when you're mad, you got to do the head and the head and the, I hate it. I cannot, Devin. Make this make sense.
I don't know, Jackie. Clearly Miami is not the spot for actors.
No.
But yeah, that was really bad, really funny. Yeah, anytime I've yelled at an ex-boyfriend, I'm not usually doing that either. So right. There's that. My voice is pretty deep anyway, but there's two times when you really got to worry. When I get really deep and start talking, okay,
really, really slow, run away. Run away, because I'm about to go all the way left. But there's no, look like the whole Remember the Time video from Michael Jackson. I mean, what are we doing right now? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so of course Twitter had something to say, and a couple of the Twitter fans was like, "Oh my God, so everything we see is fake?" This guy said the same thing. He says, "You're telling me these cameras have been fake all these years?" And this guy said, "Nah, some of them are real. This one's just obviously fake." And then look at Carmelo's meme. He's like, Carmelo's already a meme, and I love that. I love that. Didn't love the acting at all, but I love that moment in time. Get better actors next time, you guys in the chat. All right, people in our chat could act better than that. Do better. All right, but that's all I got for the post up. Let's move into what we not gonna do, because this one is absolutely ridiculous to me. First, we had that thing on 328 because Falcons fans can't let it go that they lost that lead, and now the Rams want to create a rule where there's already a rule in place, which it's really odd to me, and it's ridiculous. But you guys remember this, right? Take a look at this video, because I know you guys remember this. So take a look.
So quickly that no one's going to notice.
Don't lie, Levy. He might have got you. I think when they get the ball back.
Happens so quick.
So we all made a joke about it. We laughed about it like, ha, Tom Brady tried to be slick, but we all knew that there was a rule. That was 3rd and 10 when that happened. Of course, the flag was thrown, because you can't do that. It's already illegal, and it should have been thrown. But so the Rams decided that because the flag that was thrown wasn't going to put them in a beneficial situation, because if they accepted the penalty, then it would have been 3rd and 15 for the Bucs. If they declined the penalty, then the pass would have actually counted, and then the Bucs would have been at 4th and 2. So they are basically saying, hey, since this penalty did not result in a favorable situation for us, which I disagree with that, number one, because if your defense is worth a damn, you should be able to hold them on 3rd and 15. So that to me is just ridiculous. But they're basically saying, hey, no, they should have lost a whole down is what they wanted. So they're proposing this new rule that says if this happens, which it's only happened like maybe 3 times, maybe 3 times, I don't know. But they're saying if this happens, you should lose a down, because they don't want anybody else to find themselves in this situation. So you would lose a down if you throw a forward pass from behind the line of scrimmage, or if you throw a pass from behind the line of scrimmage after the ball has already crossed the line of scrimmage. And they want this again. So if this rule had been in place, then it would have automatically been 4th and 15. So for me, what we not gonna do is have any more conversations about, is Tom Brady the GOAT? Because right now you have a whole entire organization trying to create a rule where a rule already exists, specifically so if Tom Brady has the mind frame to say, oh, this ball came back to me, play's not over, let me throw it again, that now you can combat Tom Brady and say, nope, that's a loss of down. You guys, there's already a rule in place. This is what salty looks like. This is what in your feelings look like. If you are still so mad about this moment in time where a penalty was issued and you didn't trust your defense enough to think that they could stop Tom Brady on 3rd and 15, so now you want a rule. Oh my gosh, this is so... Tom Brady's the GOAT. Tom Brady lives in everyone's head rent-free. So that is another hash mark. Just like LeBron, he lives in y'all head rent-free. That's another hash mark for Tom Brady is the GOAT. I think this is hilarious. The Rams are still in their feelings about this. What we not going to do is make rules where rules exist, Rams. Do better. But that's all I have for what we not going to do.
It's fan or foe.
Ah, yes, our favorite time of the week when we get to directly respond to all of your comments that you've given us throughout the week. So let's jump right into it. Leo, can we get that first one up there? Now this one says, damn, that got me. I was like, where the hell are they? LMFAO. And I think this is our April Fool's joke. I have to give credit to Jackie. She's the one who decided to do this, and I'm glad that you guys loved it. Let's move on to the next one. What happened to the fumble? I missed the fumble from 2018. Well, so weirdly enough, this thing called a pandemic happened, and it was really like just unpredictable and wild, and so things had to change a little bit, but we're adjusting. Anything you want to add, Jackie?
No, I mean, I was here in 2018. I think you came in late 2018, didn't you?
Yep.
Yes.
I think
So technically, you got 2018 staring you right in the face right now.
Yes, that's right. Okay, John, our favorite, he said, I was thinking, are Devin and Jackie invisible? And yes, for a moment we were before we jumped in to do a lame April Fool's joke. Simone, so what if Russ is not a champion? What's he supposed to do? Stop playing hard so we don't make history? What's the problem? Jackie, I'm handing that one to you.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I said the same thing. You have to continue to play, and that's what he's continuing to do. And you don't need to detract from a moment in time where he's actually out there breaking a record. You don't need to detract from that by reminding him, oh, you're not a champion. He's a champion. He's gonna go out there and leave it all on the court every single night, and that's what champions do. So I agree with that.
True that. Okay, Sean says, I didn't know you gals had a podcast. I always thought the Fumble was more of the 2 to 5 minute variety covering the week's topics. I'll be back tomorrow morning then. So I do want to clarify, this isn't a podcast. It's a live show that exists on YouTube, but we're glad that you're going to be tuning in 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sean B., welcome to the Fumble fam. We're happy that you're here. Next one, Leo. Oh,
you're in there. Say hi. I didn't see you in there, but if you're in there, Sean, say hi. We want to know you made it back.
Yeah, Sean, we want to see you. Okay, Michael Martinez says, I'm in love with you guys, LOL. Okay, I'm in love with you too, Michael Martinez, and I think that you should be in the running for Fan of the Week. Do you agree with me, Jackie?
I agree.
Okay, Jeremiah, our biggest hater in the chat. We love him, but we also don't at the same time. He says, I don't know, but I don't respect what's Westbrook doing. What's Westbrook is doing, he is stat padding, in my opinion. Jackie, do you have anything you want to say to that? Because I don't agree.
Yeah, again, Jeremiah, I'm gonna need you. I know you say you do a lot of research, but stat padding is when people say that doesn't really make sense to me, because every point you get is beneficial to your team. If you're getting assists, that's why I didn't like when people said that James Harden was a ball hog. You can't lead the league in assists if you're a ball hog. It's not a real thing. Numbers matter, and your numbers benefit the team. He's not stat padding. He's trying to succeed for his team. That's it, and that's all. This doesn't even make sense.
All right, let's get to the next one. Julio says, watch, the NBA will do a random drug test on this man. So this one was in regards to Russell Westbrook. They might. Those random drug tests are never random, but I don't know. Do you think he's going to get a random, or that he maybe did get a random drug test?
He won't, because Steven's right. We've seen Russell do this all the time. Yeah. But if suddenly someone like Alex Caruso comes out and has a night like that, he's getting a random drug test. It's the guys that don't normally play like that. It's like, what the hell's going on? No, come here, pee in this cup. That's usually how that goes.
Jeremiah Smith says, Jimmy G is low-key the Walmart Derek Carr. Jimmy G is not the Walmart anything.
I low-key love that clap, though. He's the Walmart. Damn. Okay, Jeremiah got a good one. I like that. I want to make this, since I know he wants it. I need this to be considered for Fan of the Week. That is a great clapback. I know you don't like it because it's your boy, but Walmart Derek. First of all, Derek Carr is trash, and you call him the Walmart Derek Carr. I like it. I like it.
I have to go Nina Westbrook on Jeremiah Smith right now. I have to defend my man. He is not the Walmart anything. All right. Let's get into this next one. So Adam Hecker says, restock the Warriors and try to win another ring. Don't join the Lakers. So this is obviously about Steph Curry joining the Lakers, the rumor that we've been discussing almost all week here. I mean, yes, if the Warriors want to restock or whatever, as he says, fine, go for it. But if Steph has a better chance of winning a ring with the Lakers, I say go for that. I would be thrilled. What?
I agree. No, I definitely agree.
Let's get into the next one. Kevin L. Lang. We love Kevin. He says, whole new appreciation of the Fumble after following you ladies on social media. So don't forget to follow us if you guys want to. I'm at Devin Howard. Jackie is at JRay the Fanatic. I'll type it in the chat in just a second, but follow us on social media. And let's get into the next one. Adam, okay, this is a question for you, Jackie. How are you a Lakers and Saints fan from Colorado? Great question. What's your answer?
All right, let's get it. Story time. So I am from Colorado. I was born and raised a Dallas Cowboy fan. But so I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan up until 2016. But more than a Cowboy fan, I'm black as hell. And so when Jerry Jones, and I know I've shared this story on the Fumble a couple times. I used to meet Jerry every single season because I would go up to the training camp in Oxnard, and he seemed to recognize me. So he would always come up, give me an autograph or something like that. So I had a personal situation with him. And then when he kind of let his racist flag fly, I was done. But I had always had love for Drew Brees. Drew Brees was like my LeBron James, where I watched him where he was with the Chargers, and then I watched him when he was with the Saints. Plus, my dad was a Saints fan because my dad is from New Orleans, so that's how I ended up a Saints fan. LeBron, I've been a Cavs fan, Heat fan, and now a Laker fan. I go where LeBron goes, and so that's the answer to that question.
Love it. Let's get into the next one. Asian Kid Akira says, you can have a super team and still lose the finals, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. We've seen some super teams disappear in the finals. It happens. That's why I don't understand why people are so mad, because when we do see a super team fall apart, somewhere along the way in the postseason, it's kind of like this train wreck that you can't help but watch, right? So that's why I don't have a problem with super teams. I don't know. People get so up in arms about it, but I don't think it's a big deal. Let's move on to the next one. Dennis Davis says, Beal and Dame are on some Kobe-ish, same team entire career. Yeah, it's true.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same because Kobe was actually winning rings on his team. So it's a little different. But as far as staying on the same team, yeah. And I think when you're winning, then you stay on the team. When you're not, you entertain leaving. It's just that simple for me.
Yeah. Good point. Next one, Christian Contreras says, I don't mind the super teams, but it will be more embarrassing if they lose in the playoffs and don't get a championship, all that money down the drain. Exactly, 100%. It's embarrassing and it's funny to watch. Unless you're a fan of the team, then it really sucks. Right. Next one, let's get into it. Or is that the last one, Leah? Wow, we sped through fan or foe this week.
Wait, because I thought we had so many. I was like, let's go.
Same. I'm like, all right, gotta get through them. All right, that was it for fan or foe, you guys. We love hearing what you had to say. So now let's make our decision as to who should win. I know you want it to be Jeremiah Smith. That goes against literally everything I believe in, and I want to continue to push for whoever said he loves both of us. I don't remember what his name was now. Michael Martinez, was that who it was?
Yes, Michael Martinez. I don't know, y'all. Walmart Derek Carr. Look, I will give you credit for like the next week, but I'm gonna be calling people Walmart Derek Carr for like this whole week. Like, stop talking to me, you Walmart Derek Carr. That's gonna be my new insult. So, since you have added an insult to my arsenal, I'm gonna give it to Jeremiah.
Oh God! And since I can't remember who the person was that said they love both of us, I'm gonna let you have this one, Jackie. But next week, I get to decide because I got to defend Jimmy G. And this hurts my soul. And he and I are probably going to have a really long conversation about this tonight. And I'm probably going to be in trouble. So thanks a lot, you guys.
It was funny. It was just a joke. It's trash talk. It was not racist. It was not homophobic. It was trash talk. Do you see?
All right, you guys. Well, on that note, let's wrap up our show for the day. Make sure you tune into Weekend Zone. That's coming out tomorrow. Subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. We'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so we hope to see you there. Sean B., that includes you, since you're planning on tuning into our podcast, apparently. We'll see you guys on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a great weekend. Bye!